Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? It's your boy Abstract. Welcome to another segment of 716 Live Power Hour with your boy Excel.
Okay.
And we got a guest, Jatasva, right? Jatasva in the house. What's good with you, fam?
Good. What's up with you?
Peace.
Peace, family. How you?
Okay.
Right?
What's up with you, man?
Man, just doing what I do, man. Just staying on that higher vibration. That's about it, man.
Word.
Just trying to guide the living and, drop a little knowledge to maybe resurrect some of the dead.
Okay. Oh, all right, man. Was that the Walking Dead?
Man. See, that's the thing, man. People watch The Walking. You know why The Walking Dead is like the most popular show on television? Because zombies like to watch zombies.
Ooh, right.
You know what I'm saying? But they don't never talk about how the zombies became zombies, though. See, that's what I be watching the joint. Because if it's a virus is something that you can track, from foreign RNA or DNA entering your body.
Right.
So how did foreign RNA or DNA enter your body? It could be a bloodborne pathogen, possibly. But that would be like saying if you sneeze, I'll catch AIDS if you got it.
Right.
And that don't work that way.
Yo, DNA means deoxyribonucleic acids.
So what are these people ingesting that made them crazy?
You just learned that.
RNA is ribonucleic acids.
It's like, nigga, I was studying.
When they say Eve came from Adam's rib, that's what they talking about. Like ribosomes and different things. Like ribonucleic acid, the RNA. It's all the science book, the Adam and Eve, the evolution of the atom splitting. It's all science.
So we saying that Adam is the A-T-O-M.
The A-T-O-M.
Atum.
Adam, Atum, Amun, Amen, the hidden, melanin, soot.
Right, we can go on with it.
So like, how did that interchangeable word, how did that word change over to Adam, A-D-A-M? What is it, right?
Playing word semantics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all semantics. They play word games. You gotta understand, when you're speaking in the English language is an equivocal language. So it's meant to confuse you. It's always gonna have dual meanings. That's why the ancestors used to say that the Europeans spoke with a forked tongue or a split tongue. Because they'd say something that means something else. Right. So that's how you get caught in the contracts too. Because they'd say one thing to you and you comprehending it a certain way. Right. But now they hitting you with something that's like a homonym or something like that. Like it sounds the same, but it means something.
Kind of like this, like you go to court, right? You get pulled over, and it's like, okay, Mr. Excel, I understand you were driving without a license, and you say, yeah. They say, how do you plead? You say, oh, I'm guilty, or because I was driving without a license. What happened was, I just never went and got it. You know what I mean? See, what the case is that
I wasn't driving, I was traveling.
Exactly. Driving to them meaning you was making money on the road. You know what I'm saying? We use it differently. They use it totally differently. Right. So when they assume like how the court system works, they assume that you know the law. Right. You know what I'm saying? So when you walk in that joint, you like, I was driving. Oh, this nigga was making money. Oh, okay, lock him up. Or go see the clerk and pay your $90, whatever the case it is.
Assumptions and presumptions.
Yeah.
You're driving with passengers, and really you're traveling with guests.
Right.
Right. Shit, I ain't need a license for a horse back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to get it registered.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, so how to get people to say that you're driving rather than you traveling?
Just simply say you traveling. Correct them.
Yeah, I beat 2 court cases doing that.
Right. Correct them, and then when you step and you deal with these people, you present yourself as king. Asking, like asking. You ask questions. They ask, you ask. They gonna present themselves as king, so you present yourself as king. I'm gonna ask.
The whole thing is basically trying to get you to act out of yourself, your natural self. That's why they had it set up the way they do. Wait right here, stand up when the judge come out. You know what I'm saying? Because they trying to get you to give up your lack of a better word, sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? I hate using that word because it's so abused. You know what I'm saying?
Calling this man your honor. What's so honorable about him? You not honorable?
I never say that.
Why does he address you in that manner?
I say Judge. How was the holidays?
Man, to me it was just another just another day, man. I mean, like, I don't really get into them. You know, I know other people do different things like that, but I'm like the type of person they call like, I'm real strict with this shit. Like, when I post what I post on Facebook or whatever, like, I really mean that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't play and go to my mama's house and play the game and all of that. With them. That the fact that, you know,
say some real slick stuff.
I know, like, people say it's a time for family, this, that, and the third. And to me, I feel like all time is a time for family. I don't feel that the government should tell you when to love your mother, when to love your father, when it's a time for family to come together, when it's a time to be thankful. You know, that shouldn't be something that the government has to tell you or prompt you to do. But when you're dealing with people that really have no natural sense of humanity, they have to have rules and guidelines to prompt them, to tell them how to be human and when to be human. So when you're a natural person living in an unnatural world, sometimes you fall subject to the way the unnaturals do things. And currently, the unnaturals are the ones that are controlling. And that's only because the naturals allow it.
And why don't you celebrate Christmas?
I mean, government fundraisers. It's a government fundraiser.
I like that.
You know, it's a way to get you to go out and spend money and give money to these corporations. They tax you all year round. Then play with your mind to get you emotionally attached to a holiday where you're gonna go out and give more tax dollars, because they're gonna tax whatever you're buying, to the government. So it's a way they collecting taxes multiple times. It's getting money from you, getting money from the people. You know, and people are putting their emotions into it. Oh, it's for the kids, it's for, you know, for this, for that, so forth and so on. But, you know, really, it's all about the government and the government making money.
Yeah. So Christmas means consecrated.
I mean, then that and the fact too that, you know, the thing with them is that, you know, they take everything that our ancestors did and they turn it into a perversion. So let's say the ancestors, or as, you know, Christians or whoever, you know, the ruling class, which we're, you know, in New Rome, as Rome will call us pagans. When they say pagan, they're referring to like those that are, you know, are pretty much outside of Roman jurisdiction, those that are non-Romans, non-Christians, those that refuse to bow down to Rome. So technically...
But the Bible is Roman. And Greek.
Yeah, and Jesus was a pagan.
Yeah.
Because he went against Rome. He wasn't a Roman Catholic. He wasn't a Roman Christian.
Yeah.
You know, so he would be a heathen. You know, but they use pagan when they talking mainly about like Scandinavians and Norse people that didn't want to convert to Christianity. Heathen is what they use to refer to like Africans and different things like that. Barbarians, they refer to Berbers, which all of these words are synonymous. Pagan, heathen, Berber, Saracen, miscreant, ethnic. Ethnic means pagan. So you go to the, you know, the ethnic hair section in the store, that's the pagan hair section. These people play games all day. You know, they depict you as being the devil.
So the person say, what's your ethnicity?
What's your pagan?
Yeah.
They play games. But you know, the way the ancients did it, you know, the way the ancestors did it, you know, those the righteous ones, you know, that was a time for consecration and purity. They did come together, but they did like what people would call like meditation, or, you know, things where they purified, you know, their space. You know, they purified themselves. They didn't get together and indulge in gluttony and, you know, envy and, you know, laziness and all of those different things or whatever. You know, because people, you know, that's how a lot of the holidays turned into a time when people get together and pretty much commit like mass suicide rituals. And the reason why I say that is because it ain't like they really sitting there eating something that's gonna be, you know, nutritious to their body. Like they're really eating things that are gonna fuel and energize their bodies. You know, they're eating junk. You know?
Plantation plates.
Yeah, they're eating death.
What are those foods that actually kill yourself? Kill your insides?
Man.
Anything that don't grow out the ground, pretty much. Damn near anything that don't grow out the ground.
That thing, yeah. I mean, they
so what you saying is that when I go down low on a broad, I'm killing myself this time. That's what you saying, man?
Now, if you eat,
that's what you saying,
now,
man.
if you eating something,
because I ain't from the ground, man.
If
I'm from a womb.
If you really eating something, you might need to check that shit.
Oh, okay. Man, I think I get nutrients from it, man.
Nah, but you know,
put some facial hair on your
head. I'm telling you, man. Go to sleep, wake up, feel recharged. Yeah.
I mean, it is, you know, it is nutrition and things like that. If a person is, you know, practicing clean, you know, eating clean living, you know, it is benefits from, you know, the excretions from a male or a female. I mean, they call it nut. I mean, shit, nuts is supposed to be what? Full of nutrients, proteins, substance, and stuff like that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That's the first 3 letters in nutrient.
Then I mean, you got Newt, Sky Goddess, you know. I mean, so that's a whole other thing right there, whatever. With Newt and that whole play on
Gab
words
and all that. Yeah.
That's crazy. The nutrients.
Nutrients.
Nah, but you know, really, it's like when you eating like dead things, you know, like dead animals, processed foods, and different things like that. Things that are dead of nutrients, dead of life, you know. Because really, food is anything that fuels and nourishes and energizes the body. You know, junk is anything that does the opposite. To say junk food is an oxymoron because you can't have junk and food together. You know, so it's either junk or it's food. You know, but we like, well, it's okay if I do this. Sometimes it's okay.
Junk food is junk, but I'm eating it, so I call it food. Yeah, okay.
But it ain't feed.
Yeah, but
You're tired afterwards. You know, you waking up in the morning tired. You done had 8 hours of sleep and you still can't get going in the morning. You need all type of drugs to stimulate you. You need caffeine and, you know, all these different things to get you going in the morning. And really, I mean, you should naturally be able to get up in the morning. Your serotonin should be pumping and you should be good, you know. Do a couple little calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, you know, whatever. Little light jumping jacks, calf lifts, little basic stuff at home to get them endorphins, get that blood flowing. That's really pumping iron, because iron is really the heart. You know what I'm saying? So when, you know, when the European tells you like pumping iron and having you think you're pumping iron is going to lift a big ass iron. See, that's how they take literally our sciences that they couldn't comprehend. Pumping iron meant getting the heart pumping. You know, because if you go into like the Yoruba traditions or like the Ifa, you know, different things like that or whatever, or what they call Nigeria or whatever, you have like the archetype Ogun. Ogun is the heart. You know what I'm saying? Ogun is like the pathfinder. You know, he paves the way. You know what I'm saying? Like he paves the roadways. You know what I'm saying? The roadways of blood.
Let me ask you a question real quick. You mentioned Ogun. I know you know Ogun Oshomala. You know, you talking about the Yoruba and all that. You into the occult studies?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, the occult, any of that. Everything that they say to stay away from, I go to. If they tell me to go left, I go right. If they say look down, I look up. I don't trust anything they say do, I do the opposite.
Right.
If the Europeans say stay in the house because the weather's gonna, you know, stay in the house because it's gonna be something else, I'll go outside. You know, because out here they had these warnings, oh, don't go outside because it's supposed to be something in the air that can cause this or that. Well, I'd rather go outside in the sun where the sun gonna purge that shit than sit up in this house away from the sun.
You know,
just bacon in it.
You know what's funny? Because I kind of figured at a young age, I figured out like when they say drink milk does a body good. You need strong bones, stuff like that, right? Now, I used to get down drinking my milk, right? Whole milk, vitamin D like a motherfucker. And then one day everything changed. Just one day.
We broke a bone.
Nah. that the milk did not agree with me. And I'm like, hold on. Wait a minute. This don't feel normal. Like, I probably didn't notice it before because I was so used to drinking milk. But this one particular time, it really messed me up, and it felt like I had this bubble in my chest, and I was about to die. Like I was about to have a heart attack, you know. And then come to find out, I'm allergic. I'm lactose intolerant. Majority, 98% of black people is lactose intolerant. This is why anytime we drink anything with dairy, you know, anything related to dairy, we get gassy. You know what I'm saying? We wonder why our stomach hurt while we farting up a storm and all that stuff. You know, so I found that out, and I'm like, hold on. They say drink milk, it does a body good, but I can't drink milk. Why do they say drink milk? Because of the vitamin D and the calcium, right? So as I get older and I start studying, I find out the vitamin D we get naturally from the sun. You know what I mean? And us living up north, of course, we vitamin D deficient. You know what I mean? So this is why I call it vitamin depression. Because if you don't got it, you stressed out, depressed, anxiety. You got all these issues because you lack sunlight, you lack vitamin D. But now, them having no melanin can't absorb the vitamin D from the sun. So they got to absorb it in other ways. This is why they say drink milk. See, and this is our problem. we like to lump ourselves with everybody else because for one, when they talking to themselves. They not talking to everybody in total, like the whole world as one people. They talking to themselves, and we don't realize it because we still in that mold of I want to be treated equal.
What's that gonna happen? We
still in that mode, like I want to be treated. No, don't treat me equal because if you treat him like shit, you ain't gonna treat me like shit.
That's an illusion.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be treated equal. Treat me how I am. Treat me as how I present myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's our problem. We follow in suit with every fucking thing. They do this, we do this. They do that, we do that. Oh, they Christians and this and that. We Christians and all that. And I could talk to any black person on the planet, and I'd be like, okay, you know what happened to us in our slavery, right? Yeah, I know what happened. Okay, so you understand how we became Christians, right? Yeah, I understand. So why do you continue to go to church? It's as simple as it gets. If you know this, why do you continue it? It's on, what's that word I'm looking for?
Insane thinking.
Yeah, it's insane, but it's a word that there it goes. Cognitive dissonance. Yeah. It's like right when you find out something that conflict with your beliefs or something like that, you make up a reason in your mind to keep doing it and justify it. And this is what we do every fucking day. Every day, black people do this shit.
They'll argue that the white folks, that Christianity, that they was using the Bible wrong and all these things. If the people, if they introduced you to something, how you gonna say they using the shit wrong and they introduced you to it? You was a living to their language, to their culture, to their way of living. And furthermore, if Christianity was that good, how the hell did slavery even happen? If Islam was that good, how did the sub-Saharan slave trade even happen?
Hello. People forget about that.
If Judaism was that good, I mean, if you really look at them stories in the Bible, Christian Bale said it after he did the movie Exodus. He said that the Hebrews was damn terrorists. Because if you really think about this, like terrorism going on, how you gonna promise a land to somebody that's already occupied? But then when you get there, you're going to have to kill off the people that's already there. But that sounds like European crusading and conquering. I'm going to go to lands where people are already dead. I'm going to kill them off because our God said this land is for us.
Exactly.
If this was really so, and I mean, if this, this one God, this one universal God, one universal thought, all of these different things, with that being said, why do we humanize God to the point we play these games? Like, if God really wanted everybody to think a certain way or know a certain truth, he couldn't just pop it in like that. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. I mean, why we play these games? You sit up here, you created supposedly, born in sin, have free will, but you will be punished if you execute your free will in an unpleasing manner.
Facts.
But how was it free then? How was my will free?
Let me punish you for something that you said.
And free. To me, that's child neglect again. Because it's like, so if you telling me that we all know and we all seeing, we all these different things, so that means we knew Lucifer was going to think what he thought before he ever thought what he thought. So why did you even just, the thought from his head before he even had
That's what I'm, hold on.
And furthermore, why didn't you just poof his ass out of existence?
That's what I'm saying right there. What's the point of even creating
the planet and bringing
people back? You created your enemy. Like, I want an enemy, so I'm going to create the devil.
I can defeat you, but I don't want to.
Exactly. I'm more powerful than you in everything, but
But though, man, one man's God is another man's devil. God is a cultural thing. People cultivate God. You know what I'm saying?
I would say, did man make God or God make man? Because I believe they both one and the same. You know what I mean? Because
the God that they say was God.
I don't believe in just one creator. Like, a lot of people do that. They allude to it's this almighty power, and it's just spookism to me.
I got a question, right? How do you think we formed on Earth?
We always was. Period.
Okay, so you believe that we always was like in this erected form?
I'm gonna put it to you like this, and this is just my personal belief.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what your personal belief is.
Where did you go? How did you get here?
How did I get here?
Yeah.
Shit,
from your mom, right? You blossomed from 2 lips, right? You came out of 2 lips. How did your mom get here? Same way, right?
Millie Rock. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's keep going. If anybody was the first person, they had to come out of 2 lips. They had to come from in between some legs. Because that's how everything comes here. Every living thing, or at least mammal-wise, or anything with sexual reproductive organs that is not asexual, that can't reproduce themselves, they have to come through some kind of vessel. They got to come through some kind of portal, the womb, or some kind of way. Ain't no fucking... Just think about, okay, so God created Adam. So that means Adam don't have a belly button.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then he created Eve from Adam's rib. She don't got a belly button. But from every person from that point on got a belly button. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? We always was here. Period. This always was. We just stuck. We stuck.
You talking about the Christianity Bible?
No. What are we talking about?
You talking about Adam and Eve?
Well, no, I'm just saying I'm referencing that because that's what everybody.
I thought we was gun buttoning.
No, I'm just referencing that because that's what everybody go to. That's what everybody runs to when they talk about creation. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so that's what I'm referencing. And if you want to believe that story is true, God did not create everything then, because he said the earth was without form and void. So meaning the earth was here, it just wasn't formed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who created the void? The void got to exist within something. Everything is contained in something, right?
Right.
At least that's what it's saying. So it's like people don't know how to think. They don't know how to use critical thinking when it comes to things like this. So when I say we always been here, it's hard for me to put in words. But if you think about it hard enough, you can't refute me on that shit.
Right, correct.
In some way, shape, or form, we've always been here. You know, when you play in science, they talk about, solid, liquids, and gases. These are all transitional states that we experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you may come from the spirit realm, you know what I mean? Then you may come to this physical. You may return to a gas or to a liquid. Some people say, we go to the water and become the suds on the top of the ocean.
Exactly.
So it all depends on what your cultural perspective is, because like I was saying earlier, one man's God is another man's devil. So the way that my culture may perceive a higher power or creative force may be different than what your culture may. And then if we have a dispute, so now it's like, to my people, what you're doing is the devil. And when I'm, getting my people amped up, I'm telling them, that this is, of God. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or, whatever. I mean, it's just an easier way to control people. If you say I said, people like, get out of here. You tell them God said, it's like, oh, well, I better do that then, because I don't want to, I don't want to go to hell and all of these different other things. We get spooked out. But a lot of it is just, it's a matter of perception. And when we living in a world where everything is being viewed through European lenses. I'm just going to be blunt. You know what I'm saying? Most of the things we doing like Europeans do. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't even really call them Europeans, because that's not even really their name. They really don't even have a name. They're really like it. Because if you really break down the science of it, even the term like Caucasian, that's an Ethiopian word. It comes from Caucus air. The Ethiopians named them when they took them over to these different places. Europa, we're talking about Phoenician princesses. Scotia, African princesses, so Iris, we talking about Osiris. All of these things go back to Africa. All of these things go back to cultures of melanin-dominated people. We were those different people that were in these places, that was shedding light and giving light to these people and raising these people up and different things like that. But when it switched, then what happens was the zookeepers named the zoo kept. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is those that were here to uplift the planet and to be guardians of the planet, have allowed certain entities or certain groups to overthrow them and actually put them in captivity and pose as the guardians and the keepers of the planet. And as we see, they're doing a terrible job, because everything they touch it, they pollute it, they destroy it. But even if you get into where somebody comes from or what their essence is, it makes you wonder how you have certain groups of people where everything they choose to do, it goes against nature and it kills nature. You know, we poison the water, we poison the earth, we poison the sky. They want to send cold shit up into the air. The chemtrails we think is poisoning us. Now they trying to cool off the sun and shit. You know, they trying to, these people at one point, they were contemplating blowing up the moon, sending nukes in the moon to try and prove to Russia that they had more power. So they was gonna blow up the moon. They would have blew up the moon, and people were telling them, other scientists, like, if you do that, you're gonna fuck up the whole planet. You know, you're gonna tear up the whole vibration, the frequency of the planet. Because the moon controls mood and tides, the waters on the planet. That's why women's cycles go with the moon. You know what I'm saying? The moon cycles, the womb cycles. Moon is another word for womb. Womb, another word for moon. Moon, or the word sin, Sinai, goes back to the Sinai being a so-called moon goddess. So sin is even a term for moon, and moon is womb. Then of course we were all born in sin because we were all born in the womb.
Yeah, but I'm saying, okay, well, I got a question for that, because it's like, if the female cycles go with the moon, and some female cycles not on the same day or not even the same pattern, so I'll go with the moon.
I was gonna say that. You took the words right out of my mouth, because I was just thinking, like, because you got females like, these two best friends could hang together. Now they cycles is on the same rotation, but soon as she move and start hanging with this girl over here, now they cycles is not the same. They cycles is the same. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so how do that correspond with the moon cycles? If if a girl could, you know what I'm saying, mimic another person's cycle.
Well, I think a lot of it is when I look at it with the way cycles and the way different things work, it's kind of like how we was talking earlier, how when you deal with we deal with Western science, and they always want to try and categorize and label things and put things in a way that where it just seems like it has to be a start point and an end point. But when do we really calculate when, let's say, a cycle really begins or a cycle really ends?
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So this woman, they don't mean her cycle off. It don't mean her cycle off.
It just could have started
at a different point. Because we really can't determine how the moon is really cycling. But we do know that the moon does control your moods, you know, the way that you flow. It is male and female, you know, because there's really no difference between the two. We're just exaggerated versions. Like our organs are more exaggerated.
Right.
Our reproductive organs, you know, we have outies, women have innies. It looks the same way, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just, you know, the way that it's viewed, you know. I mean, it's kind of like we were one thing that's split into two things.
Yeah.
You know, but we're compatible together. We're not opposite sexes. We're actually, you know, compatible sexes. You know, we don't oppose. And that's another thing they tell us, you know, look for the opposite, you know, opposites attract. And I mean, how do opposition attract? How do two opposing things that, well, if you take a magnet in the north and the south, and they're opposing ends, and they're not opposing ends, they're complementary ends. They complement each other. That's why they connect.
Right.
If they were opposing, it would be like when they say you put in the north with the north and it's repelling.
Yeah.
That's what opposing is. You know, so a lot of it, like I was saying earlier, you know, it gets into, you know, the word games, but then also, you know, we have to have that discernment, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of it, you know, that's what we're dealing with now. You know, they say we're in the age of Aquarius, you know, the age of Noah and all those different things. I mean, I don't really keep up with a lot of the different, how they talk it and how they label this and label that. I just know what flows from in me and, you know, the light codes that unlock in me and the information that comes to me. And, you know, I go out and I look and, you know, seek confirmation from something. But a lot of times I'm just sitting chilling like how we building right now. And something just like, poof, just pop in my head.
You don't even,
and I'll go look it up and it's like, boom, right in the
exact. It just confirmed. And it's funny you just say that, like, because when I tell people, like, they're like, well, how you know that? And I'm like, I can't really explain to you how I know this, because some things is what I call them. I get transmissions. Like, I get it transmitted to me. I don't know how, but we could be talking and the whole answer to that, just like a picture in my head, and I can see it so vivid, like I'm looking at this poster. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I can't explain to you how I know, but it just is.
It's the DNA. You know, well, it's what Western science calls DNA. And African science or indigenous science, what we call like the ancestors, that starved state or whatever. You know, when you're dealing with DNA, you're dealing with chromosomes. The chromosome is a sum of light. Chrome means light. You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with these different things or whatever, you're really dealing with the light particles inside your body. Now, if an ancestor is a state of a star, and you know that's where we come from, that's what we go back to. I mean, they talk about that even in The Lion King, you know, and that's our science there. But they throw it in the Disney cartoon to play on to make it seem like it's just entertainment. But that was really how some of our sciences will go. We come from the stars, we go back to the stars. But with that being said,
some cartoons from Jews.
yeah, they definitely do. You know, they hide
I'm watching somebody.
Man, Walt Disney was a cultist. A lot of people don't know that. But that nigga is so deep into it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. South Park, my favorite joint, though. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, that's how it flow, though. You know, especially with, you know, melanin or star, you know, the star seeds, you know, because that's what you want to call it, black people, whatever you want to call it. That's what melanin dominated people are. We are star seeds, you know what I'm saying? Some people, however you want to label it. So we get our, you know, intelligence from the sun, you know. That's that soul intellect. You know, soul is another word for sun. Soul, you know, in the, as they would call it, the SOL, SOUL, all of these different things, they spell them differently, but they all mean the same thing. They talk about your solar plexus. You know, that's your soul, your inner sun. You know, this is when you tap into the heart, the inner workings of the heart.
The black sun or the invisible sun. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever heard them terms, but
yeah, the black sun.
Yeah,
that's the unseen sun.
That's the soul, or they say your soul. I heard like the solar plex joint. They say your soul sit on your heart chakra. You know what I mean? You ever heard this guy named Carlos Castaneda?
Nah.
He was a anthropologist, like from way back in the day. I want to say 60s, 70s era. He was studying peyote. All right, and
what's peyote?
Peyote is a hallucinogen.
Yeah.
It's like a
button,
like a mushroom button, kind of.
Peyote.
Yeah, but that peyote is high in like DMT and stuff like that, or mescaline and stuff.
Yeah, that's
what
I
mean.
DMT.
So, but the story behind Carlos Castaneda, he studied with this shaman Indian named Don Juan Matus in Mexico for 13 years, and this dude Don Juan, he basically showed him mad stuff. This was my opening to consciousness when I stumbled across this because of how he explained things. And he talked about this thing called the assemblage point. The assemblage point, he said, pretty much sit in your heart chakra. And if you could see it, this is what it would look like. It'll look like a ball of light with a bunch of spaghetti strands going through it, but they real fine. You know what I'm saying? And your consciousness is set on one of these strands, and you can shift your consciousness depending on where it is on this assemblage point. It'll change your perception on how you perceive things. You know what I mean? And the way he described stuff, it opened my mind so much. I read this book. The first book I read was called The Art of Dreaming. When I read that book, I read it 3 times. I had to read it. Carlos Castaneda.
Okay.
I read it 3 times, bro. This is like my favorite book. But ever since then, I've been real fluid with my lucid dreams. And it opened me up to so many other things that now is like, none of this shit mattered. None of this shit mattered. I asked for this right here for a reason. Because this is the physical realm. That's the spiritual realm. We supposed to be like this. In between.
The line between.
But we made a decision to just chill in the physical realm. And we think, oh, we only go to the spiritual realm when we die. And that's the trick right there. That none of this mattered. That's why I say we always been here. You know what I'm saying? None of this mattered. It's yin and yang. We living in the yin. Thinking that when we die, now we in the yang. But we live in the yin and yang right now. We just don't know where that balance is. And then the whole point of this is trying to find a balance between the yin and the yang. So now, whatever we need on command, like I could pull it from here and bring it and manifest it here. Now I can experience it. Because in the spiritual realm, there's no need for anything. When you think of something, it happens as you think of it. If you want something, you have it when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Here is a delayed reaction. We created this so we can experience. So we can come here and experience the things that happen automatically in the spiritual realm. So he's like, yo, we need a playground. You know what I'm saying? This is how I look at where we at right now. This is a big playground for us to just experience and live.
Right, yeah.
You mentioned something about morals earlier. And I always wanted to tell somebody this. Very few people I get a chance to have this conversation with. Morals are only subject to the place that you live in. Because what we do in this country, in that country over there, they kill you for it.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Right.
So it's only relative to where you live. You know what I'm saying? And the community that you brought up in. So what is morals?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying none of this shit matters. It's a playground. This is why the European or the white man right now, that's why nothing bad happening to this nigga. Because he realized that none of this shit really fucking matter.
Exactly.
He make it matter to you.
Exactly.
This is, people say, karma.
No karma.
Karma is a religion.
It's the new devil.
If you believe it, it will happen. If you believe because if I do wrong to him, something wrong will happen to me, it will happen to you because you believe it.
Yo, I don't believe in karma. I believe that, man, something gonna happen, it's gonna happen. It ain't got nothing to do with what goes around.
And that's how these niggas think.
And that's just that.
Ain't that how these niggas think?
Exactly.
This is why they still empowered. This is why everything is the way it still is. Because ain't no such thing as that. They convinced us that it is for us, but for them, they not practicing karma. Like, nigga, get the fuck out of here with that.
All this they gonna slaughter these people be doing, ain't nothing happening.
Like, some people come here to murder, steal, rob, kill. That's what they want to experience.
The Europeans.
It's all necessary. And I mean, see, that's another thing that you know, really fuck people head up is when you get into knowing that, you know, even that is an illusion. Right, wrong, good, evil, all of those things. Those are all matter of perceptions, like morals, all culture based. And what's right in one culture could be wrong in another culture.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. You know, so like
That's how
you
the
were
religions
saying,
are.
we get into all these illusions, and it's like Johnny come lately been taught this or stole this, or however he acquired this knowledge. They take it, they apply it, and give us dogma. So we playing with religious dogma. When they do them books and them characters and different things, they know the science of them books. You know, when they in that Quran and that Torah and that Bible, they know the science of it. You know, they not playing with dogma and shit like that. You know, they give dogma to the masses. So the masses run around talking about if you don't get right with the Lord, you gonna go to hell, and this gonna happen, and that's gonna happen. And most of these things ain't even in the book to begin with. But I mean, it's just sad that somebody would really even allow themselves, or that we allow ourselves to be subject to such, you know, like lessonings of ourselves. You know, like, I mean, we really, and I look at it like this. Black people really need to stop blaming other people for the situation they in. Because honestly, no one can do something to you that you don't allow them to do to you. This shit is fucked up, and we in a fucked up situation we in because we allow ourselves to be. Charles Manson said it best. White people are rotten, and black people are rotten too because they want to be just like them. They should have left us in the jungle when we was gods. They brought us out the jungle and brought us here and wanted to take us from being God. They should have left us as God because we know them better than them. We can study them and copy them better than them. But see, the thing is, the trick on that and how he played that. Him saying that, yeah, that may be something a lot of black power people, yeah, you heard what he said. But see, the flip on it is, why would you want to mimic these people? Why would you want to be like these people? Why would you want to lessen yourself to a lower vibration? You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to mimic something that's lesser than you? So when they say that we're all created equal, that's not true. That's something that somebody wants to convince you to make you think that you're equal to they type of shit. When really you may be superior to that. So we gave up our immortality for mortality. And we thinking that immortality, you know, is just something that's made up or don't exist.
Right.
You know, you'll hear some black folks say, well, once you dead, you gone. Ain't no coming back. But you remember being younger, your grandmother might have said, like, that baby done been here before. That child done been. So which one is it? Is it when you dead, you gone, you don't come back, or you come back? Because it's like grandma saying reincarnation, and then she said when you die, you either go to heaven or hell. So which one is it? But see, that's that ancestralness coming out. that ancestors, the DNA speaking, them light codes speaking through the grandmother or the elders. But what happens is, even though people may be into Christianity and they get in the church and do what they do, even that's something that comes from our culture. When they went over there and the missionaries did what they did, they found ways to take certain things and give it in a way where we'll be more comfortable with submitting or converting to certain things. So what goes on in a black church is really conversion tactics. Those were things that we did in Africa. The spiritual, the praise, the worship, if that's what you want to call it, the dancing, the music, that was us. That's not something that, a lot of Europeans or Catholic churches, they don't really do things like that or whatever. And basically what I'm saying with it is that when they do these things, they find ways to kind of play on your emotions. It's something from your culture to try and attract you to a perversion or something lesser than what you were supposed to be. So like Charles Manson said, we were gods when we were in this jungle. But when we came here to this concrete, which you could take it the way he's saying it, or you could take it like when we was in the country, they put these advertisements, they marketed the city. We all left the land and everything we had in the country to run to the city, to work, go to school, do all these things to try and buy bricks and sticks. When we left the sticks and the bricks and the land and the earth that we already had in the country, to come here to try and buy somebody else's bricks and sticks on their land or whatever you want to call it. We had more powers when we were in our natural element. We were out in the earth, we could walk around barefoot, when we could really get the electricity from the earth. They put us in these shoes. Like Shaka said, if you ever seen like the Shaka Zulu movie, they ain't want to wear them damn sandals. Them sandals killed his electricity. The Shaka was a Sangoma. They practice Sangoma, the Zulus. They deal with like astral travel, like, they could just go in and out just like that. Come back with information just like that, like how you was talking about earlier. And then they could tap into anybody that's connected through the blood. So it don't gotta be somebody that's directly from your lineage. They could tap in Marcus Garvey, for example. You know what I'm saying? Any particular, energy that came from something that was similar to what they did or related to, I should say.
That vibrate on that frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now they playing over there now where they let Europeans like Bill Clinton, Hillary, a lot of these people, they do all that. They go over there and they get initiated and they practice the voodoo and the sangoma and the Ifa, and they desecrating the shrines by doing it. Those about people that are allowing them to do that is dead wrong. And that's why they feel so much pain, because the ancestors ain't with that shit. That's why they feel so much pain, because it's like this. You make a pact with your ancestors, you become immortal. You break that pact with your ancestors, you become mortal. That's what the Bible talking about with the whole Abraham and breaking the covenant. We broke the covenant. But it ain't in the biblical sense the way they saying it. When the Bible, when it say something like, honor your mother and father and your days will be long. That's your foremothers and your forefathers.
Right.
We don't even know our culture to honor our foremothers and our forefathers.
And they keep it from us for that very reason. Exactly.
We honoring who they give us.
Man, that's wild.
They giving us illusions and we buying into it because it's something that resonates in us, because they give you a piece of what's yours and wrap it up in something else. And now I'm going to give this to you, and you going to take this as being, the all in all, when in actuality, you had something that was greater than this before this.
Mm-hmm.
You had Farrakhan that took the money and started teaching the nation that Scientology. How you going to teach them Scientology? Why you ain't go to Ifa? Why you ain't go to Voodoo? Why you ain't go to Sangoma? Why didn't you go to, but you know what? See that right there with Farrakhan, if anybody's ever noticed following Farrakhan has been anti-Malcolm for a very long time.
Oh yeah.
He's been anti-Shabazz for a very long time.
He even said out his own mouth, I may have something to do with Malcolm's death.
In 1972,
he said it out of his mouth.
In 1992, he did it again. In 72, he did it, and he was saying that don't nobody got no say in how we deal with the trade and so forth and so on. He did it again in 92. Then when he sat with the daughter, that's when he said what he said to the daughter. Now he know what he did.
What he said to the daughter?
He said that he apologized because the words, things that he may have said may have caused the demise of, her father. Betty Shabazz always knew that he was responsible. See, Farrakhan was Malcolm's pupil. He wasn't Elijah Muhammad's pupil. But, when you get into a lot of that, though, that's them things where it's like, When Farrakhan said that the tribe of Shabazz was a cursed tribe, and they was cursed with nappy hair, wide nostrils, thick lips, dark skin, the hair on your head is supposed to be straight like the hair on your eyebrows. Wouldn't you want the hair on your head to be straight like the hair on your eyebrows?
Yo, I remember seeing that.
That's why you gotta relax your hair, because it's something natural inside you that wants it to be straight. Now, if you go back to Malcolm said, who taught you to hate yourself? Who taught you to hate your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin, the thickness of your lips, the wideness of your nostrils? And he also mentioned how, Elijah Muhammad never taught anything about Africa, never even referenced Africa, was never even really into Africa. And you see the same thing with Farrakhan. He's not into Africa or anything with Africa. He keeps telling you, you're black, you're black, you're black. Now, we get into law. We know what he's doing. We know what these ministers and these figures is doing. They all work for the government. And most of them, really and truly, those that were really for the cause and those that were really, detrimental and really were potentially those that could be saviors or leaders or whatever you want to call it, those that really had the best interest of the people at hand, they didn't live long. Most of them didn't make it past 40. Some of these individuals that's old as hell still running around here talking that shit, Big Gregory too. You gotta wonder about their asses. Cause it's like, why ain't nobody off your ass?
Right.
You running around here kicking this shit. How you know all this shit?
Man. Dick Gregory.
my man.
Yo,
Dick Gregory, he be talking shit.
He be on some shit, man. But you gotta really listen.
What you think?
You gotta really listen to what that nigga be saying sometimes, bro. Cause some of the shit that Dick Gregory be saying, I be like, hold up, bro. Whoa.
Yeah, they killed Prince.
You going too far with it now. Like, how the hell? Now, how is you allowed to even say that?
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech done killed many people.
I think it's his old ass getting a little senile.
No, that's what I think too. I think, man, somebody need to check him a little bit. He need to take a test or something.
Is the status correct?
Man, this is how I feel about status correction. This is how I feel. Fuck it. Because you wasting your time and your motherfucking energy trying to move in a system that ain't built for you.
You play that game, you gonna lose.
The only way you gonna win over here is if you act as a business. That's the only way. You cannot act as a natural person over here because ain't no such thing. Look at the Indians. Look at the Native Americans, bro. They live on reservations, concentration camps, pretty much, without the gas chambers and shit. This is their land. This is our land. Like, we all didn't come over here on boats, for one. I can prove that. Just look at my family. We all don't come from Africa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
That's
it's like, yo, this our land, but yet you reserve, you push us in a corner like, that's y'all right here. Like, holla at me if you need something.
And if you step up, I'm gonna knock your ass down.
Right, like, this shit is bullshit. Fuck a status correction. Fuck it. Because they don't mean nothing. This money shit don't mean... You ever read the book Modern Money Mechanics?
Money don't really exist.
It teach you... It's written by the Federal Reserve, and it tell you how they create money. This whole system is created off debt. That's why we stay in a state of war. We have to. That's the only way we can make money.
It's a scam.
America is a Ponzi scheme. That's what it is. People don't realize it yet. It's a big Ponzi scheme playing with your soul. You know what I'm saying?
Hunger Games.
That's what it is.
It's a Hunger Game.
None of this shit is real. Fuck all this shit. Fuck a status correction. I mean, if you want to go ahead and do it, if you think it's going to make your life better, go ahead. Do what you can. But I'm going to just tell you, feds is watching.
The way I feel about that is like, I got mixed emotions about it. Like, I know, I ain't gonna say mixed emotions, mixed feelings. Because I know that some people do it for the purpose.
Because I was going to do it. I was in the process.
Some people do it for the purpose. But I tell you an excellent thing to study. Anybody ever seen Braveheart?
Yes, one of my favorite
William
movies.
Wallace. Pay attention to William Wallace's mentality. When he was dealing with the other dude that was the nobles, the whole strategy that the king, that the Europeans had, or the English had, for the indigenous people of Scotland was pretty much to breed them out of existence because they couldn't kill them all. So they made it where whenever one of them got married, a nobleman got to sleep with their wives first, because they knew if they planted their seed in them first, they can raise that child to be submissive and to do the ways of the crown. and the way the Crown wanted them to do. That's why Dr. Clark touches on the mulatto factor and different things like that, and people get into that. But the whole thing was William Wallace was not willing to sit and do any contracts with these people. He wanted freedom to the point where I'm not about to sit here as a natural person and go into something unnatural with you. You're not going to give me a contract and tell me if I do something a certain way, I can live a certain way and have certain privileges.
Right.
It's either all or nothing.
Right.
And you had certain individuals in that film that they wanted to submit, in a sense, to the Crown so they can keep what they had.
Right.
The other movie, the Free State of Jones with Matthew McConaughey, that's another play on it. How, you know, when the government was trying to come in and take 10% of everything the people had, you know, which the church takes 10%.
Right.
See, that's why they set that up or whatever, so they can get their 10% out your ass one way or the other. Because people wasn't having that, you just coming in my fucking home taking 10% of my shit. And really, they was leaving your ass with 10% and taking 90% of your shit. You know, but but see, a lot of times when black people watch movies like Braveheart, we look at it and we get caught up in the characters and what people look like. Because it's Mel Gibson and it's a bunch of pale people in the movie. They put pale people in movies to cover up your culture. That's your ass in that movie
Egypt.
that was doing that. When you see the little locks in their head and the braids in their head in the series, the Vikings, them all black folks. I mean,
It's like Avatar too.
Avatar, the Na'vi, and all of that.
In any movie, any space movie, black people is always portrayed as another color.
Yeah, or creature or something.
Well, they, you know, some say that, you know, when they get into the Na'vi was blue. You know, that's the color of Tahuti or whatever. Blue is like the color of wisdom, like Beast from the X-Men or whatever. You know, then you got Osiris, the green one, which is the color like vitality and swift. The Incredible Hulk is green. You see, he's pure will. Nothing can stop the Hulk because he's pure will. When they play with these little cartoons, that's a play off our culture too. Whether it be something that comes from Kemet, whether it be something that comes from the Americas, whether it be something that comes from Asia, or any of those other places, you know, where the indigenous people practice the way they practice. Whether it's the symbols on these cartoon characters, the powers, the attributes that they have. Although they may have Caucasians or pale-skinned people playing these characters, they're playing out what your ancestors actually did, who our ancestors really were.
Right.
You know, what indigenous people really did. It wasn't something that they did, you know, because if these are the same people that tell you, you know, in the PBS specials, what makes us human, that all Neanderthal or all non-Africans are Neanderthals. And this is them saying this.
Right.
This ain't some black people running around, because that's what black people get it confused and be thinking it's black rhetoric. And then you have to send them to a white person to tell them the same shit you done told them.
Right.
Because it's like black words don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Black words don't matter.
Hashtag right there, bro.
Black words don't matter. Yeah.
But you right though, man. Like,
It's sad though.
You ain't got the what they call it complexion for the protection. There's so many little names that go with it, but you so right, man, because I've said things out of my own mouth so many times to so many people about so many different things, and them niggas look at me like, okay. But then when they find out from the white boy, yo, bruh, guess what I just found out?
What's that?
What? Yo, nigga, did you know that it? And I'm looking at them like, nigga, is you serious? We was just talking about this like 3 months ago, and now you coming.
Get
out of here with that. I guess as long as you know now.
Yeah, Malcolm said it best. We got white's disease. Black people can't function without white folks. We can't help but to think like them, but to act like them. We act like we can't get a job without them. We can't pray without them. We can't do nothing without them. We can't, you know. And the thing is, though, you know, that's what happens when you had these certain figures that were talking integration, and they wanted to integrate you into these perversions. You know, they wanted to tell you that you need to come into this thing. My thing is this: if they had a place that was whites only, white only faucet, white only bathroom, white only pie, I mean, it wasn't for your black ass. Why did you want it? You mean to tell me that white pie was gonna be better than your black pie? Now this may sound fucked up, but I'm just gonna keep it straight. Most black folks know that we prepare meals better than white folks do. So why the hell would a black person wanna go anywhere to get some white people damn food? And we know we make the shit better than them. We was the ones that was making the shit for them. That KFC recipes and all them damn recipes. You really think Colonel Sanders was in the kitchen in that white ass making chicken? That was damn Big Mama shit.
23 herbs and spices, nigga.
It was fair.
Now, but you know what though? You right though.
Man.
You right.
Okay, stop doing this to me, please. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll do this, please. Man, listen. They couldn't have me back then.
And that's how you know we
You got me
lost
back
our
then.
way.
Yeah.
That's why I said, yo,
so dumbass
I get
out
a
here
lot
with
of,
stupid shit.
I get a lot of shade for this too, because I say segregation was the best thing that happened to black people, because it forced us to create our own and do for self. Man, when you look at Tulsa, look at what we did in Tulsa, bruh. We had our own everything. Damn near Tulsa was ours, nigga. That was our city. And what they do? Come and bomb our ass. They got mad and bombed us. Like the only country in the fucking world that bombed their own fucking country. They own people.
Oops, my bad.
Not they people. But you know what I'm saying?
And they tell us to forget about it. Remember
Yeah,
9/11?
yeah.
Forget about Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
Remember
Hello.
9/11?
Yeah.
Forget about all the little Africans that
Slavery
were
is
destroyed.
over with, but you remember the Holocaust.
Holocaust.
Like, is you
They help
serious?
their people.
But see, that was a make believe. That was a hoax too.
That's what I said.
Because what they did,
That's what
that's
I
how they
said.
brought. See, when they wrote the Bible back in the late 1400s, 1473ish, they knew that they had to make these things come to pass. So when they wrote these things, they write it and they make it seem like it's biblical prophecies coming to pass. But really, in actuality, they're gonna create the scenario to make you think. I'm telling you, they got these holograms. They brought Tupac back. Watch, Jesus about to come from
my
the
nigga
clouds
right
through a
there.
fucking hologram, and niggas is gonna be running around crazy. It's this shit over in Africa with this white dude dressed up like how they depict Jesus is looking, and the Nigerians was fucking going crazy thinking Christ came back.
Right.
Because these people done been so sold into that they really think that, you know, that's what it is. But
Well,
it's that fear.
Think about it. Think about it. You in Nigeria, right? Where, well, or just somewhere in Africa where first world ain't really touched that much. Okay? You ain't got really iPhones and shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might have some stuff, but y'all ain't got the shit we got over here. All right? And you got these white boys going over there all the time with all this shit. Hey, let me teach you this. Let me teach you that. Let me teach you this. You know what I'm saying? Now, to a little black kid, it's innocent. It's innocent. Yeah, I want to learn this. Yeah, I want to learn how to work this computer and things like that. It's innocent. But it's making an impression on that child's mind now. Because now, the only superior that you can relate or that you could think about is the person that's teaching you something that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So you look at that person as a superior. You know what I'm saying? So you got all these white people going over to Africa, adopting kids, building schools and churches and all this stuff. And you yourself is like, man, they helping us out because we ain't got none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Now you in that mentality of subconsciously like anything they do over here is right.
Right.
Anything they tell me is to help me.
It's superior.
You know what I'm saying? And that's subconscious in your mind. And this is why when you look at Africa over there and motherfucking look at Jamaica, look at India, and look at South Africa. What's going on? Everybody putting whitening cream on.
Yeah. Bleaching.
Bleaching their damn skin. Why? You ever think about why is these niggas bleaching their skin? Because they think that they have to look like they superiors to.
They're trying to look like God. That's their
Hello, that's their image of God.
That's their Lord. The Lord is superior. You know what I'm saying? So they mimicking after what that looked like. You know,
Exactly.
they didn't stop when they wanted to do the blonde hair and the blue eyes, the blonde hair wigs, weaves. You know what I'm saying? The blue eye contacts.
I thought that was enough.
It's like we mimicking deficiencies. Like we mimicking a deficient race of
Red
people
hair, green hair.
because these things lack melanin. Blonde hair, it's lack of melanin in your hair. Blue eyes, it's lack of melanin in your eyes. When you looking at people with blue eyes and you know, green eyes and different things like that, you really looking at their nerves. Those aren't even really pupils or like the way we see color, like melanated or melanin dominant people, those of us that have darker complected eyes or brown eyes, we see color totally different than lighter color eyed people. They can't stand the sun to look at the sun. Their hair is you know, it's born dead. That's why their hair falls, our hair blossoms out. You know what I'm saying? Just the whole makeup of everything. Like if you took a piece of charcoal and you burned it, it would light up and flame and look like what they say the sun looked like. If you put it out, it'd be black like coal. I mean, if you take us in the physical, us, that's why they say something like, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice, and, the darker the this, refer to things being dark, and, they would talk about like soot and, just darkness of that hidden substance, which they demonized and, because that's...
And called shit.
Yeah.
Because that's where the word shit comes from.
Where?
Soot. You break that down real quick. What soot, who soot is,
how you spell soot,
and what soot is, and why they call it soot, and where the word shit come from.
Piece of soot, smell of soot.
We see like a lot of that stuff, it play off of like the Kemetic pantheon, or Kemetic deities, as some would call it. Forces of nature or whatever. So when you're dealing with soot, you're dealing with like an inner substance or something that's hidden. You're dealing with like that primordial, that black dot, like that beginning point, that nothingness that you come from. That in the beginning there was darkness and then there was light. Like that. You coming from the darkness of the womb to the light of what you see now. But basically what the soot is it's your inner melanin, your inner intelligence, like the part of you, like you was talking about earlier about, like the aspects of the soul and different things like that. Like soot is like one of those things where, how they'll play it, and then you get the word Satan, which is soot in. That's why I keep saying inner soot, because they know that Satan is the soot that's inside of you, the blackness inside of you. They call it shit and say like it come from the bowels or whatever. The same way there'd be like the bowels of hell, and the matrix is the belly of the beast, and all these different things. And this is how you know that these people hate vagina. They hate the female, they hate the feminine energy and where all life comes from as we know it. Because honestly, you're not from Buffalo, New York, you're from your mama pussy. You know what I'm saying? You're from your mama vagina. You're from your daddy nutsack. That's where you from. You know what I'm saying? You're from them wombs. Those are the portals. You transmitting from one portal to another portal. I remember, like some people, it say like, the woman carries the baby for 9 months. Well, how long does the man carry the seed? We don't know how long he walked around with that sperm in his sack. And I mean, that's, you plant that seed into that soil and the two come together and something grows, My uncle told one of his wives that back in the day. She told him, this is my kid. I done carried the kid for 9 months. I birthed him. He like, shit, I carried him my whole life. I didn't get the science on what he was saying back then because I was a youngin'. I got older, I realized what he meant. Old black men from the South, they was into a lot of that root shit or whatever. Like, they knew they roots and stuff, pouring out liquor to, to keep the spirits off. Or,
libations.
Yeah, they knew that or whatever. And that's what God is. Like, if you look up the word God, it's going to tell you that, it means to invoke or to call upon. Then it's going to go into the Sanskrit and tell you that it means to pour or libation. To pour or libation, that's when you spill your seed. You spill your seed into a woman, that's libation, that's God. That woman water breaks, that's libation, that's God. That you pour from out of her, that's libation, that's God. It's just dealing with internal creations and different things like that. So when you get into the soot, it's like that soot is like that inner mystery, like the dark inner workings of things, like how everything is created in the darkness, and that's why they say like evil is dark, and you'll say like Satan or the devil is evil and all of these different things. Well, the actuality is
go into the light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we need to embrace the darkness just as much as we need to embrace the light.
In the darkness.
Exactly, because where do light come from? You can't have one without the other. They both have to coexist to even tell a difference. That's what I keep telling people. That's why I tell people, like, when we talk about good and evil, you know what I'm saying? You can't have one without the other. They both are necessary. You know what I'm saying? So you can't shit on one and then praise another, because they both are necessary to tell one from the other. They're polar opposites, but that don't mean that they're different. Because it's opposite, I know it sounds fucked up. Because it's opposite don't mean it's different. Just like I was using the coin. This is a coin. You know what I'm saying? We living on heads, thinking that when we die we go to tails, but not realizing we are the coin itself. Period. The coin will always be. We created the circumstances on which we experience, but we don't fucking realize that shit.
Same thing work with the body. You got a left hand, a right hand. What's the difference between your hands? Your hands different? Besides them telling you one is a left hand, one is a right hand, what's really the difference between?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? There's no difference. The medium is this. You know what I'm saying? And so when you get the yin and the yang, you're that line in the middle.
Exactly.
See, these people, these Western science, Western science wants to tell you got to be one or the other. They're partial thinkers. They don't know how to think holistically. So they'll tell you got all these systems in your body. No, you got one body and one system. Each system, it has different compartments to it, but it's still all one system. That's like you work for a company. You got this big factory that has a bunch of different departments inside that one building. It's not different buildings. It's the same building.
It's like your
so they
house,
give you
nigga.
your body and make you think that your body
You
is
live in
composed of
one
all
room.
these different things. Like everything in your body is reproducing something. So everything is a reproductive organ. You know what I'm saying? Even your brain, your heart. It's not just down there. Your genitalia is how these people
Your
like to
cells is
make you think.
reproducing
Yeah,
every
everything's reproducing.
freaking millisecond you do touch something, your cells is reproducing.
So for all this further information, man, that we didn't discuss today, how can people reach you, man, on social networks or personal?
On Facebook, I'm on Jatasva Rahim, JATASVARAHEEM. On Twitter, I'm under Eulogy Rose, ULIGYROSE. You can find me on YouTube, the channel Eulogy Rose. It's all one word, ULIGYROSE. Also, I have one under the Divine Eye, which is just the Divine Eye, THEDIVINEEYE. And as far as contacting me, anything like that, Gmail, eulogyrose@gmail.com. But yeah, pretty much, any one of those avenues, whether it's Facebook or shoot me an email or something like that, would probably be the most effective.
Okay. And if you ain't got that mixtape, go to www.pimp.com/ECCELL Illuminati, okay? Anything from Abstract Beats?
Yes, sir. Make sure you hit me up if y'all need pictures done, y'all need beats, anything like that. Make sure you follow me on Abstract Beats page. Make sure you follow me on the Hip Hoppreneur.
Okay.
It's going down. Abstract from the boom bap to the trap all the way back. It's your boy.
All right, here we go.